Okay. Okay, now we go. How is that now? Can we hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know that you can hear me. All right. Okay. Okay, great. So what I was saying a second ago, how coincident that I was just standing there and I nonchalantly turned around and I see a frame and I see a window. I see a door, a window, and I suddenly walked into it. And it's like it was here, it just was here, right? Just like the doors that we knock on. Just like the opportunities that are knocking on our door, knocking on the outside of us. So this is kind of where this week's energy brings everything. You know, this morning I was looking at the ocean and it was flat. It was just there was nothing. You could actually walk on water. And now, a few hours later, the water is bumpy, wavy, bring all kind of um, opportunities. And let's see. Oh, I have to put these on to read. So somebody wrote, let's see, zero viewer. Jesus is only a concept. Okay, we are a concept too. You know, we are a concept too. That's an interesting comment. I wonder why this is being put right here and right now. It's only a concept. Is it to debunk or to elevate? But what I want to share with, thanks for stopping, by the way. What I want to share is really something that has been going on this week with people that I've been talking to, with clients and with friends and events that happen. How many times do we try to do one thing or the appearance of a certain thing, and we knock on a certain door? We have a desire, we have a will, we have a yearning to do something, to be in a certain place, to be somewhere. And we try different things. We try acquiring the knowledge. We try activating certain gifts that we have. We try to do a few things, and it just doesn't seem to work. Now, what doesn't seem to work? What we want, the outcome that we want, the outcome that I want, is not happening. And we're trying certain things. And we're trying the things that we know, but we never really, not, I wouldn't say never, but many times we don't try the things that we don't know. And it takes a long period sometimes, or many doors to knock on, to understand that maybe we're putting our effort in places that are not conducive, that are not yielding the results that we want. So what happens? We go, we try, we're doing this, we're doing that. You're applying for a job, in relationships, you try, you do certain things, you do a few things, and it just doesn't work. You want to be in a certain situation. I spoke with a client that is yearning about relationship and about family, and those things are not happening. Although prayers, although all kind of actions that that person has taken, that are just not yielding the results that that person wants. And what the results that that person wants stem out of what that person knows, not what the person doesn't know, what the person knows. So the person knows to pray, the person knows to ask for it, the person thinks that they are changing the way of thinking, but the environment is not shifting. the familial environment is not shifting. The familial environment that fed and cultivated the person who that person is today. And so if I'm trying to move a car and I'm pimping my car, I put new headlights, I'm trying to move the car, let's say go backwards. I released the handbrake, the old days, right? Handbrake, it's not a button. I changed the headlights, I painted the car, I started the car, but the car is not moving backwards. Why? Because I didn't put the gear backwards. A very simple analogy and a joke, but it's really like this many times. After everything that we try, we come to a point of acceptance. What is the acceptance? The accepting that there is something that I don't see it. That there is something, or there is a situation that has to happen for me to lead up, or for us to lead up and to realize that, we haven't been doing the right thing, or the thing that will move the wheels. And what is that? The acceptance. The acceptance of where we are, the acceptance that things are not all the time in our control. And when we think that we have control, actually is the height of the understanding that we don't have control. When we think we can control certain people to say certain, when we think that we can control a certain situation, especially when it involves other people, understanding and accepting that this is where I am. And there is a reason that I'm here. There is a reason that we are here. And some reason that we are here is to experience what is going on around us, because when we are fanatic about something, I'm going there, I'm doing that. Yeah, we may get what we're looking for if we're so fanatic about something, but many times we get there and it's like, it's not quite that. And that happens because when we push through everything that is around us. Like a line in the sand. We're pushing the sand aside. We're pushing the sand to the side. And I'm going there by hook or by crook, I'm going to get there. Think about a computer game where you have many levels. And the first thing that I would do, I remember in early computer games, I would grab one sword, two sword, three sword, and then run to the door of the next level. Because I want to get to that next level. I come to that door, and the door is locked. Okay, so I'll go to another door that will open me to another level. Okay, I'm going to that door. I'm finding another door. On the way, I pick up maybe a piece of bread on the game, and the door is locked. And it goes like this for several doors. And this, the equivalent is what we're doing many times. Until we find the key. And how did we find the key? By turning every stone, by walking around. Sometimes I love to go when I play. I don't remember last time I played a computer game, but when we play a computer game, when I play the computer game, I like just to look around. To look around. You know, just to enjoy the graphics. Just to enjoy the scenery that was created for me in that illusionary world. So when that happens, suddenly, I found something. I found a clue. And that happened to me many times. There was an old computer game called Myst. It was like really a thought-provoking kind of a spying game, a mind, to find different things, find different clues, from what I gathered. And I like just going around and enjoying the scenery. And while I was doing these things, suddenly I found clues. And suddenly I found myself in the level that I wanted to get to in the beginning of the game, but when I tried to get there, couldn't get there. Another analogy, when they're at night, there are stars. We can see the stars. They are there now, we just don't see them. But they're there. And when you look at that particular star, directly into that star, your vision starts becoming blurry. Your vision starts kind of like you're missing the star. You're not really seeing the star. It's kind of like becoming two, becoming one, kind of becoming blurry. But when you shift your eyes a little bit to the right or to the left, suddenly you can see the star clearly. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes we need to sit and to inhale and to be grateful, because the gratitude, the energy and the frequency of the gratitude opens up. What is prayer? You know, we were growing up convinced that, oh, we need to pray to an entity that will give us things, that will make things for us. What I believe is that the words that were created in prayers were created, but the real meaning of them were not revealed to the masses, because certain words invoke certain energies, invoke certain frequencies. But today I see people, and I can talk also about myself from previous days where I would growing up in an Orthodox family, following, reading certain words, and many times I can see people that are reading them like a highway, like 700 words a second. I'm like, what's the point? What's the point of walking around and where is the creation? Where is the intention, the energetic intention behind the words that can move things? Words. The world was created with the 10 utterances. Manifestation starts with imagination. The words that we speak, abracadabra. But more importantly is the intention behind the words. This portion of this week is re'eh, see, watch, look. It's like when I tell you something, hey, look at this for a second. And it says, look, here I'm giving you the rules and laws, and if you follow them, you'll be good. If you don't, this is what will happen. So the first question that comes into existence is like, oh, great. So if you do this, good. If you don't do, you get punished. I mean, that's the whole thing. So what's the difference? Some streams in that I grew up in believed in that fear tactic, in that fear mentality. Do this so you won't be punished. Ooh. Punished. Yeah, I grew up with much of that. If you don't do this, you get punished. If you don't do that, oh, you're going to burn in eternity. That kind of thing. It took me many years to get out of that place, because this is not what it is about. So back to the beginning of the portion. Re'eh noten lifnechem, the good. Here, look, I'm giving in front of you the good and the not good. I say not good because also in the opposite of good there is good. I wholeheartedly believe that everything that happens for a reason, and for the spiritual reason of my journey, of your journey. And when I say the spiritual, it is the personal journey, the purpose of our journey. So imagine you've probably seen those. There is a maze with 4 entrances, and four entrances at the bottom and 4 entrances at the top. And on the right side of the entrance, of one of the entrances, on the most right one, there is an apple. Not a bitten apple, because we put the bite back into the apple. So there is an apple. And the task is to choose which entrance do I go from the beginning to reach that apple. Now, what I used to do, I used to start from the apple and go and find which one is the right entrance. But if we could do that, we wouldn't be here, right? In life. But what happens if I choose the first one? I get to a dead end. So, and then there is one that leads to the apple. So if I don't if I don't choose the one that goes directly to the apple, then the other ones, they have consequences. If I chose A, B, C, they have their own consequences, and D has its own consequence. It's not about being good, you be good or bad. It's about a choice, and that is where I see the freedom of choosing is. So when God is saying, here I give you this and this, if you do this, this is what will happen. If you do this, this is what will happen. This is a great tool when we're working with children. There is a father that will say to his son or daughter, I want you to do this because this is what I told you, and if you don't do this, I will not take you to the park tomorrow, and ta-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra. So the child grows up to see, oh, if I do this, I get good. If I don't do this, I get bad. The point is here that when God is saying that, and this is a great lesson for us all, is that to come to a place of a choice from within. The knocking on the doors many times is a desire to find somebody else to give us the solution. Because when we knock on the door will open and something will be standing on the outside of the door, on the other side of the door. Which means whatever is on the outside of the door is going to affect how I feel. And I don't want that. I want to choose. We want to choose the door that we're knocking on, and whatever door we're knocking on, we understand that it was our choice. And it is not about that God or the universe is punishing us. It is to understand that we made a choice. And this is where it starts with the freedom of choice, and it concludes with, or part of the conclusion, the responsibility and accountability for the choices that we make. And so when we're knocking on doors, we're looking for answers. We're looking for answers to fulfill our most sometimes inner desires, to fulfill our uncertainties. And many times these certainties come from knocking on too many doors, because these doors are there to be a guide for us. So when God says, this is your choice, I want you to choose to open this door. A father is telling us the appropriate or the most, let's scratch that. The most beneficial of a parent telling us a child, helping the child, is helping the child see something that the child would want to choose that door, will choose to open that door, or will choose to take that path in the maze to get to the apple. Because when we choose something and we do that from our own choice, we're whole. Why? Because we didn't need a door to tell us what the answer is. We see where we are, we see our beauty, we see our greatness, we see our gift, the gifts that we've received. And from that place of wholeness, we choose. And sometimes the choice also to sit and not to do anything is that choice. Because just like in the computer game analogy, things will show up, things will come up. We'll discover something under the sand, we'll discover a red gem, we'll discover a red stone, we'll discover what we really like and what we really are here to do. And so sometimes we choose something and we don't also know that what we chose is actually going to come back tenfold. I had I wanted to share, yesterday I had, in the last couple of days, I had several situations where help to others translated and turned around in an immediate reciprocation from God, from the universe, from the energy that was created. There was somebody who called me in the middle of the night and needed support, comfort, and I have to admit, I didn't want to answer that person at first. I was hesitant because I didn't want to be in that involvement with that person. But then everything happened inside here vertically. I could see that I did not want initially, and I could recognize it was my egoic sense that I did not want to be associated with. Then I realized, then I understood also that there is a reason this person is calling me, despite their story. I'm not talking about their story. Their story, of course, they needed something or whatever they needed, they reached out. But as far as my journey, as far as the circle that connects in my journey, in my environment, there was a reason that person called. And so I picked up, and the person really needed help. And I was grateful. I was grateful to God. I was grateful to God because I ask for it every day. I ask every morning, please, let me help at least one person today. Just one thing at a time. And the person reached out. The next day, yesterday, things start unfolding in work with clients. Just like, boom, like that. In the same situation, I was at a client, and in the close to the Hollywood Hills area, and then I decided to take a left turn after I left the client, and to go to the top of the Hollywood Hills. There is a small corner where to park the car and to look at the whole valley and the Hollywood Hills and the Hollywood sign. And I never do that because I saw that so many times. I was like, but while I was driving, I don't know why I'm driving. I'm hungry. I didn't eat at all. I need to drink. I need to go to the bathroom. I was like, why am I doing this? I said, my legs are taking me. It happened several times. And when I got there, I saw a family standing there because it's a place of tourists, and the father of the family was smiling, and I smiled back. Have a great day, and I went up to look at what I came to look, and I was like, "What am I doing here?" So, okay, I'll take some pictures and videos for my niece. I gave myself an excuse, and when I came down, to go to my car, to go to my vehicle, that same father came to me and asked me, "Look, I'm sorry to bother you, but we're kind of stranded out here. We were on an LA tour, one of those LA tour buses that take tourists all around LA. But we decided to get off the bus because the driver was high." And I was like, "Wait, what?" So yeah, the driver was high, and he showed me a picture how the driver is smoking weed. Now, I'm all for weed, but when you're driving, it's a little different. So it was high, and we were afraid. We were family, and he was driving erratically, and we decided to say, we told him, no, we don't want to go. So we got stranded here. We don't have how to get down. The ride-sharing companies don't come up here. We don't have water. I say, come on in. I had a big enough vehicle to accommodate all five of them. And they came in, and I told them, I'm not going to your direction, but I'll take you down to where there's a coffee place, and you can from there go wherever you want to continue and go. And they're grateful. And in the end, he asked me, "Sir, how much do I owe you?" I said, "You don't owe me anything." What he did later, he did on his own. And I felt the energy, feel it going from top of your head to the bottom of your feet. For the energy that there was a reason that I made that left turn to go up to that whatever. And sometimes we don't have to do anything to allow things to happen for us. Sometimes we just need to be and to listen and to open. What is possible? Where are your feet taking you today? What is available for you today? And if we run right away to the door, to that computer, or to go to the next job, to go to the next thing, and I was kind of in a time crunch because I had another client shortly thereafter. But my leg will come, my being said, I have to go there. And so sometimes when we are just listening, just when we listen, we can discover a whole new world. And so this is what I want to leave you. Hi Chuck, thank you for stopping by. Shabbat Shalom. Gina, Shabbat Shalom. Zero viewer. Thank you for bringing Jesus is only a concept, and then he answered it's purely to philosophize. I love to philosophize. And we can philosophize from here till tomorrow, and it'll never end. And you know, it's how do we listen? So there's a philosophy, at least an edge of a fork of a philosophy, because I'm not going to touch on this now, but I welcome and I'm so glad you stopped here. I'm so glad you stopped here. And so Shabbat Shalom. This is the beach. This is the sun. My ears in my eyes, my ears in my nose, and my hands. What do we feel? What do we hear? What do we taste? What do we eat? And intention, the intention behind our words, and intention in listening. So, Shabbat Shalom, Arrivederci, Sayonara, Leitaot, Ma'asalama. Okay, wait, what? Oh, thank you, Gina. Yes. Shabbat Shalom, or as in the army used to say when you stay home from not going home in Shabbat, we say Shalom Shabbat, bye-bye Sabbath. You are happening and we stay here in the base. But that's a story for a whole different incarnation. Shabbat Shalom.